What's going on, everybody out there? This video is about Michelle Beadle, ESPN personality. She works on a sports show called Sports Nation. She's worked on it for a while. Anyway, she supposedly claimed to be a longtime WWE fan, and I think pro wrestling fan for a long time. I even think she watched WCW back in the day and was a fan of them. She probably did grow up a fan watching it and became a fan and kept watching as an adult. So, this is a long story about Michelle Beadle's history with the WWE, and then turning in, as she said in a tweet that I'll read from last year, she claimed she was turning in her fan card, that she could no longer watch WWE and support them because Triple H tweeted his bro, Floyd Mayweather, during last year's, right before the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight, which was a mess and a bore fest. It was really boring. I watched it, but it was not a fight. Pacquiao did nothing. Anyways, who cares about that fight? In my opinion, boxing is dead. Has been for a very long time. The only star they have, and the only star they had, was Floyd Money Mayweather. I don't like the guy. I've never been a fan of him personally. I think he's a scumbag because the guy beat up women. But who cares? The guy was a great boxer, one of the all-time greats. But that's not what video is about. What it's about is last May, before the fight, Triple H tweeted his support to Floyd Mayweather because I guess they're still friends. I don't care who Triple H is friends with. He can be friends with whoever he wants. It's none of my business. So, Triple H tweeted his support for Floyd Mayweather, I guess wishing him luck. I did a video last year about Michelle Beadle no longer being a WWE fan. I think it's in my playlist of top wrestling news stories. Even though Michelle Beadle has never been in the wrestling business, she is in entertainment. She does work for ESPN, and she, last year, before she sent that tweet out, basically where she was disgusted that Triple H was supporting Floyd Mayweather and that WWE would support a serial abuser of women. She, before that, Michelle Beadle was a known WWE fan. She would talk about them a lot. She would promote them. She would talk very good about them. She'd go to a lot of the pay-per-views in LA and California. She's invited to probably a couple WrestleManias. I would guess 2 or 3, maybe 4 WrestleManias she's been to, probably because WWE gave her free tickets. She was at last year's WrestleMania 31. She was sitting right behind Ronda Rousey and her 4 horsewomen. She was sitting, I believe, 2nd or 3rd row. So Michelle Beadle, before she tweeted out her disdain and disgust for Triple H supporting Floyd, before that, Michelle Beadle was a known WWE fan, and a pretty big fan. She supported WWE. She would talk good about them on ESPN and her TV shows that she worked on, and interviews that Michelle Beadle was interviewed in. She'd always talk about how big of a fan she was of WWE and that she loved everything about it. And loved everything about sports entertainment and wrestling and the crazy characters and the bad acting and the stuff, everything like that. Everything involved with wrestling, Michelle Beadle said she was basically a fan of. Mostly WWE, because there's no other big companies around anymore. So, this goes back to last year, May 3rd, 2015. Michelle Beadle tweeted out, after, I guess, reading Triple H's tweet, and maybe Triple H, in my opinion, the guy can support and be friends with whoever he wants. I mean, a lot of friends in our lives do bad things, and you still support them. Not all the time, but mostly a lot of friends support each other, especially guys. It's a guy code, bros before hoes, stuff like that. So last May 3rd, 2015, she tweeted, I loved at WWE. She tweeted, I loved WWE for a long time. But, then she tweeted, but at Triple H. But at Triple H to Triple H. She tweeted, but Triple H and his love for a serial abuser is too much. And then she'd go on and say, I'm turning in my fan card. And then she put hashtag was fun while it lasted. So that was her tweet from last May. And then after that, I think on Instagram, she put on her Twitter feed from Instagram or from Facebook or from somewhere, she wrote a long letter, like a whole page of a letter about her love for WWE and why she was no longer supporting them and being a fan. It was a long letter. I read it all. I don't remember that much about everything she said in it. What I do remember is she put in there she liked everything about wrestling in the WWE since I guess she was a teenager or little kid into an adult. And she basically said she liked everything. She liked the bad acting, the crazy characters, and everything. So then she puts out that tweet, and I guess she totally stopped watching WWE from last May until I think last night, because she was in attendance live at Raw. Obviously, WWE probably invited her, and Michelle Beadle has discussed after she tweeted that she was turning in her fan card. After that, she discussed on the Katie Nolan podcast. Katie Nolan is great. She's great. If you don't know who Katie Nolan is, follow her on Twitter at Katie Nolan. She has a podcast and a TV show on Fox Sports 1. So, on the Katie Nolan podcast, Michelle Beadle said she hears her boyfriend, I guess she lives with him, he still watches WWE. He's a big WWE fan, I know that. So she can still hear her boyfriend downstairs watching Monday Night Raw, and she can hear it. But she decides to not watch it because she just decided not to. So, but she said she could still hear her boyfriend watching Raw, and it was kind of like she was a recovering alcoholic with her boyfriend in the house still drinking and watching WWE while she couldn't. So then after last May 3rd, and that tweet was sent out, and she said on the Katie Nolan podcast, I think this was in December or November, I think, of 2015, she said Vince McMahon has emailed her twice and talked to her about her not being a WWE fan anymore and supporting them because of what Triple H tweeted and his support for Floyd Mayweather. And as I said, I'm not a fan of Floyd Mayweather, but the guy is a great boxer. but as a person, he's a scumbag. But whatever. Who cares how I feel about Floyd Mayweather? In my opinion, he's a scumbag, always will be. But because Triple H supports him and Floyd is Triple H's boy and they're friends, supposedly, that would not make me turn in my fan card and stop watching WWE. Look, when Chris Benoit committed murder against his wife and child and killed himself, when he did that, it was pretty hard to stay a wrestling fan. It's pretty hard to keep watching WWE, but I did because I am a hardcore fan. But when Benoit did that and all the fucking news media was reporting on what Chris Benoit did every night, and then they had to bash professional wrestling and the professional wrestling business, they had to bash it and talk about it was wrestling to blame for what Chris Benoit did, and then WWE got all that bad news media that they did not deserve because of what Benoit did. How the hell did WWE know that Benoit was going to do that? They had no clue. No fan knew Chris Benoit was going to do that. No fan knew that. So then yesterday, Monday, before Raw, Triple H put out a tweet. Where am I going to... Let's see, I think I have it written down here. Triple H put out a tweet yesterday, February 15th, 2016, I think right before Raw. Or 1 hour before Raw. Triple H said, "It's awesome to reconnect with an old friend and bury the hatchet. Good things to come." And then he put, after he said good things to come, he put down Michelle Beadle's Twitter and Stephanie McMahon's Twitter, and that were in a picture together, all three of them. Stephanie, Michelle Beadle, Triple H are all in a picture together on Triple H's Twitter. Some people are writing into what Triple H tweeted way too much, and they're thinking about it way too much. They think Triple H put in his tweet, he put Barry in his tweet on purpose. I guess they think he did that to bury Michelle Beadle and play her, but I don't see it that way. I just think he used the word bury because he felt like it. To say they buried the hatchet and they talked things out, whatever Michelle Beadle's problem with Triple H was and the WWE's was for supporting Floyd Mayweather. Well, I guess Triple H and Michelle Beadle and Stephanie and Vince, they all talked it out. And Michelle Beadle is back, I think. I don't even know, and I don't really care, but this is news in my opinion, so that's why I'm talking about it. So I guess Michelle Beadle is back being a WWE fan and watching again, because obviously she was there in the front row at Monday Night Raw from Anaheim, California. She was there. She accepted, WWE probably invited her, and she accepted the invitation. Now, why would she accept WWE's invitation after being so angry about what Triple H tweeted? Well, here's another tweet. After Triple H's tweet, Michelle Beadle put out a tweet last night, I think during Raw or before. She wrote, "Good friends, great overdue conversation. Thanks at Stephanie McMahon and at Triple H." And then there was a picture of her, Stephanie and Triple H, with Michelle Beadle in the middle. So I guess she got what she wanted because Michelle Beadle got to have a long conversation with Triple H and bury the hatchet with WWE. Even though you can't really blame WWE for what Triple H tweeted, his support for Floyd. You can't put that on WWE. Yes, they could have told him, I guess, they could have told him before the Mayweather fight, don't support Floyd Mayweather openly on social media. They could have told Triple H to don't tweet your support for the guy. But Triple H is his own person, and he's probably going to tweet what he wants to tweet. And he probably thought nothing would happen and nothing would be wrong with him tweeting his support for Floyd Mayweather, his friend. But Michelle Beadle had a problem with it. In my video I made about her last year turning in her fan card, it's, I think, from last May, right after it happened. May or April, sometime around there. Maybe even June. I don't remember when I did it. I think I was a bit too hard and a bit too harsh on Michelle Beadle. I kind of bashed her, and I do regret it. Do I have to say I regret it and apologize? No, I don't have to say I regret it and apologize, but I want to, because that wasn't fair of me to bash Michelle Beadle in a video just because she wanted to stop watching WWE and not support them anymore. And yes, I had a good reason to make a video about Michelle Beadle not being a WWE supporter anymore and fan. Yes, I had a reason to do it. I have a reason to do a lot of videos about any topic I want, but some topics I decide not to talk about. And I decide to make a lot of videos that I could make about a lot of topics: entertainment shows, award shows, Grammy shows, news items, world events, whatever. A lot of those videos I don't care to make because I don't really care about the Grammys enough. I didn't care about them enough to make a video and discuss what happened at the Grammys because I don't care. What I most care about in my life is, well, my family, my girlfriend, my cats, and a couple other things. Sports, the sports teams I follow, I care most about, and most importantly, what I've loved since I've been 3 years old, and what I've followed since I've been 3 years old, has been the WWE. It was back then it was WWF. So maybe I'm just an insane fan that would never stop watching WWE and never stop supporting them. Maybe that's true. I don't know. But I'm just, when people bash WWE, people talk bad about pro wrestling and bash it, call it fake and all that crap, and how could you watch something that's predetermined and all that bullshit. When people talk bad about wrestling, I don't like it. And Michelle Beadle, when she said she was no longer going to be a WWE fan, I kind of got pretty pissed off and pretty angry. That's why I made a video about it. Anyways, I was wrong for jumping to conclusion and basically bashing her because she wanted to stop watching WWE. That was none of my business. She can do whatever she wants. If she wanted to stop watching, fine, all the power to her. I'm not in her brain. I don't control Michelle Beadle, and so I shouldn't have got angry about it. And as I said, I apologize to Michelle Beadle, and I apologize that I bashed her on that video, and I shouldn't even really made it, but it is made. I'm not going to delete it. I just own up to it, that I was wrong for bashing her in it. Now, a lot of people have said and been pissed off that Michelle Beadle is a flip-flopper. And now she's back being a WWE fan. Some actually think that WWE has paid Michelle Beadle off. Some think they have paid her to come back and be a fan openly and I guess talk nice about WWE again and show up to all the events and pay-per-views and show up to WrestleManias and SummerSlams. I don't think so. WWE has done a lot of stupid shit. Maybe they've paid some celebrities, I don't know, to show up at WrestleManias. I don't know and I don't care. But I do not think that WWE would pay Michelle Beadle to come back and be a fan openly. And to put out that tweet saying that she good friends, and then she wrote great overdue conversation thanks to Triple H and Stephanie. I don't think she would put that tweet out just because WWE paid her. I don't think they paid her to come back. I think Vince McMahon probably kept emailing her, talking to her, and Stephanie probably reached out and emailed her, and even Triple H probably reached out and emailed her. So that's probably why she decided to come to Raw, and she's probably invited by WWE and Triple H and Stephanie. She decided to come to Raw, meet with them, have an open conversation, and she had her chance to vent her frustrations with Triple H and him supporting Floyd. So she got that out of the way, and she got that monkey off her back. If she felt bad about no longer being a supporter of WWE after all those years she was. Even last year, before WrestleMania, as I said, she was at WrestleMania, but before then, on ESPN SportsCenter, when they had Brock Lesnar in a sit-down interview for Brock to say who he is signed with, if he's coming back to WWE or if he was going to go to UFC. So they did the sit-down interview with Brock. Who was the one interviewing him? It was Michelle Beadle, a knowing WWE fan. And there's probably a lot of people that work at ESPN that would love to bash the WWE and talk bad about them and make fun of them and make fun of their fans. One of the jerk-offs that used to work at ESPN that used to always make fun of wrestling fans and make fun of people for watching WWE was Colin Cowherd. Now, that guy's name is Cowherd. Just listening to his last name, Colin Cowherd. The guy is a coward. The guy's a pussy. The guy's a scumbag. The guy's a douchebag. Not a fan of Colin Cowherd. He left ESPN. I believe he is fired. Or he was let go. Or maybe he wanted out of his ESPN contract. I don't know and I don't care. But Colin Cowherd took his radio show to Fox Sports 1. Good for him. But the guy's a scumbag for always bashing pro wrestling and bashing WWE fans. So this is for you, Colin Cowherd. You're scum. You're an idiot to bash wrestling fans and WWE fans. The guy's always calling wrestling fans and WWE fans booger eaters. He's a fucking retard idiot. And his radio show sucks, by the way. So Colin Cowherd was a known WWE basher. He was at ESPN. A lot of other people probably would love to bash WWE, but they don't. A lot of people who work there are good people. I'm talking about a lot of the Sports Center anchors are good people. Some of them are even fans of WWE. Some have even worked for the WWE and went to ESPN. Guys like Jonathan Coachman, the coach. The coach is a good guy, long-time WWE employee for 8 or 9 years, I think. He worked there at least 8 years. Coach does a great job on ESPN. And most importantly, he respects pro wrestling in the WWE. He knows how hard it is and how all the superstars bust their ass. He knows that because he worked there and he saw it all. He saw how hard everybody works. So the coach is great. He's always great to the WWE fans and the WWE universe. He's always respectful when he's on SportsCenter to his wrestling past. He even does a segment every week on ESPN SportsCenter Tuesday nights called Off the Top Rope. So I like the coach. He's a good guy. Used to work in the WWE. Another guy came over from the WWE. Todd Grisham. I almost said Tom. Todd Grisham. He used to work in the WWE, I think, for at least 5 or 6 years. He was there. He was an announcer backstage. And then he was a commentator for a little while on SmackDown with Jim Ross. Was his partner. Todd Grisham, good guy. I'm sure he respects WWE and wrestling fans. Another guy, known WWE fan, never worked for the WWE, but longtime ESPN employee. Robert Flores. The guy's great on Twitter. If you're a wrestling fan, you write Robert Flores, he'll probably write you back. I've talked to him a couple times in tweets. He's a nice guy. And a WWE supporter that worked at ESPN for a lot of years. I think he's actually leaving ESPN and not coming back to them. So maybe Robert Flores will show up someday in the WWE and start working as an announcer. I don't know. But they have pretty many announcers already. So, Michelle Beadle, my guess, and as I said, Michelle Beadle, you should not be pissed off or angry at all. You should not be pissed or angry that Michelle Beadle wants to come back and go to WWE live events and go backstage. Some might say she's a fangirl, whatever. I really don't care what other people say or think about her coming back and supporting the WWE and putting out a tweet with Triple H and Stephanie and going to Raw and appearing on camera in the first row at Raw. They showed her on camera. As I said, I think my final thoughts, Michelle Beadle, she has her own mind in her own brain. And you should not really give a fuck or give a damn if she wants to come back and be a WWE fan and go to their live events and support them. You really shouldn't give a fuck. And if you do, then you need to get a life. And that's pathetic if you really care and you're angry about it. As I said, I was angry about it last year when she basically turned her fan card in. I did a video about it, but I was wrong in attacking her just because she wanted to stop watching. So, my final thoughts, why she came back and decided to go to Raw and meet with Triple H and Stephanie. As I said, my guess is Michelle Beadle has probably been talking to Vince, Stephanie in email. Maybe even Triple H. Text her or called her. I don't know. So they probably have emailed and talked on the phone or talked in text messages to each other, or maybe even talked on Twitter in direct messages. I don't know. But I think Michelle Beadle's boyfriend, being a big wrestling fan and being a WWE fan, I think he had something to do with her coming back, going to the show, and starting to watch again. I don't know if she's going to start watching full-time every week again. I don't know if she's going to live tweet Raw and support WWE 100%. But according to what she tweeted out, that Triple H and Stephanie were good friends and they had a great overdue conversation, and then she thanked them. So that tells me she'll probably start watching WWE again. And she'll probably be at WrestleMania. She'll probably get free tickets from the WWE again. And I think her boyfriend had something to do with her coming back because he's a big WWE fan. He probably encouraged her to go to Raw. And Triple H and Stephanie and Vince, maybe they all talked to her in emails. And they encouraged her to come back and just talk to them about her problems. And I think that her employer, ESPN, might have had something to do with it. Because I think ESPN is going to send a couple people, at least if the coach is not at WrestleMania, doing live Sports Center segments from Texas before WrestleMania, basically pushing WrestleMania and promoting it on Sports Center. I think they will send the coach, but I have a feeling that ESPN might have talked to Michelle Beadle about sending her TV show Sports Nation, and I call it Michelle Beadle's TV show because I would never watch it just for those two other guys on it. I don't care to see two dudes on it. At least Michelle Beadle is attractive looking to look at when you're watching sports. People talk about it. At least she's good looking, better looking than the other two guys she works with. Because I'm not into looking at dudes. Anyways, I don't know if that made sense. Probably didn't. Because I listen to a lot of dudes on the radio talk, and that has nothing to do with... Doesn't mean you're gay or homosexual if you watch two guys on TV talking together in a radio show. Because I watch a lot of radio shows. And I support a lot of radio shows and podcasts like the Dan Patrick Show. I love that guy. Love his show. Mike and Mike in the Morning. I enjoy them. Howard Stern Show. Probably enjoy him the most. The guy's... he's an idol to me. One of my idols is Howard Stern. Anyways. So, I'm just saying Michelle Beadle is a reason to watch Sports Nation because she is pretty good looking. Anyways, I think ESPN had something to do with her making up with the WWE because they probably might send her show Sports Nation. They may send it to WrestleMania, and before WrestleMania, for WrestleMania week, maybe Sports Nation will be in Texas, and every single day maybe they'll have a WWE superstar as a guest, or a guest host, and they'll probably have divas on their show, and superstars, because now that Michelle Beadle has made up with the WWE, I guarantee you, if her show and ESPN do not send Sports Nation to WrestleMania for WrestleMania week on ESPN, and for Sports Nation to do a WrestleMania week, well, if they don't go to Texas, I still think Sports Nation before WrestleMania, during WrestleMania week, I still think Sports Nation will have a couple WWE superstars as their guests. I think, as I said, ESPN probably had something to do with Michelle Beadle making up with WWE. Triple H had probably something to do with it. Stephanie, Vince, and most importantly, probably her boyfriend talked her into it. So that's all I got. That's all my thoughts on Michelle Beadle coming back to be a WWE fan and attending Raw in Anaheim. If you people that watch this, if you are angry and pissed off that I didn't bash Michelle Beadle for being a flip-flopper, too bad. That's your problem, not my problem. If you're angry and pissed off about WWE inviting Michelle Beadle back, if you're so angry and pissed off about it, make your own damn videos make your own damn video and talk about how much you hate Michelle Beadle and how much you hate that she was invited back into the WWE Universe family. I don't got a problem with Michelle Beadle. I've never disliked her ever. When what she did last year, saying she was no longer going to be a WWE fan, I did not think she should have tweeted that and publicly said all that crap on social media, but she did. She was just letting her feelings out, and she did it on Twitter. Publicly. I was just looking outside because it's snowing pretty damn hard out. And I got to go out soon to vote. Anyways, I always like Michelle Beadle, and I will say it is much better having her support WWE and be a fan of theirs and be working for ESPN, because at least there will be another wrestling fan that has a show on ESPN, and maybe she'll talk about WWE some more now, because she wouldn't talk about them before. So that's a good thing. I like people in media, in entertainment. I like them more if they are a WWE fan. I will admit that. I do like them more if they are a big wrestling fan. If they're not, and if they bash it, they can go to hell. Anyways, this ends my Michelle Beadle video talking about her coming back into the WWE family. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want to bash her and if you're angry at her, make your own damn video. I don't want to hear it. Don't send me tweets talking about how big of a hypocrite Michelle Beadle is and how much of a flip-flopper she is, because I don't care what you think. Follow me on Twitter at TNAWWE Guy and at NXT WWE Guy. Bye for now, everybody.